The day I laughed at my biggest rival in front of the entire office, I thought I had finally won. I thought I had proven I was smarter, faster, and more deserving than she was. But less than 10 seconds later, she looked at me with tired eyes, smiled the saddest smile I have ever seen, and whispered just 2 words that shattered every wall around my heart. Those 2 words followed me home, stole my sleep, and changed the person I believed myself to be forever. Ryan had spent 5 years climbing the corporate ladder in one of the busiest architecture firms in the city. Every promotion had been earned through sleepless nights, skipped weekends, and an endless fear of falling behind. He believed success belonged only to those who refused to show weakness. His co-workers respected him, but few truly knew him. They saw confidence where there was insecurity, ambition where there was loneliness, and determination where there was a constant fear of being forgotten. Everything changed when Emily joined the company. She was talented without trying to prove it. Clients trusted her almost instantly. She solved problems calmly while everyone else panicked. She never raised her voice, never bragged about her achievements, and somehow managed to make everyone around her feel comfortable. Ryan couldn't understand why people admired someone who wasn't constantly fighting for attention. Deep inside, he feared that she was everything he wasn't. Their rivalry grew naturally. Every project became a silent competition. Every meeting felt like a contest. Whenever Emily received praise, Ryan convinced himself it was undeserved. Instead of improving himself, he started looking for flaws in her work. Small mistakes became opportunities to criticize her. Innocent misunderstandings became reasons to embarrass her. Emily never fought back. That only frustrated him more. The office slowly divided into invisible sides. Some admired Ryan's confidence while others appreciated Emily's quiet professionalism. Although nobody openly admitted it, everyone sensed the growing tension. Months later, the company announced the biggest project in its history. Whoever led it successfully would almost certainly become the next department director. Ryan believed this was the opportunity he had been waiting for his entire career. Emily was assigned as his co-lead. Ryan hated the decision. He convinced himself management simply didn't trust him enough to lead alone. Instead of treating Emily as a partner, he treated her like an obstacle standing between him and success. Every meeting became uncomfortable. Ryan interrupted her presentations. He corrected her over tiny details. Sometimes he even dismissed her suggestions before listening to them completely. Emily continued responding with patience, focusing only on finishing the project well. Late one evening, Ryan noticed Emily quietly leaving the office with several unfinished drawings still on her desk. He smirked, assuming she lacked commitment. The next morning she returned before sunrise and completed every task before anyone else arrived. He never asked why she had left early. He simply chose to believe the worst. As deadlines approached, pressure consumed everyone. The office lights stayed on long after midnight. Coffee cups covered every desk. Tempers became shorter each day. Then came the presentation rehearsal. Emily accidentally displayed an outdated blueprint instead of the final version. The mistake lasted only seconds before she corrected it, but Ryan saw an opportunity. In front of executives and co-workers, he sarcastically remarked that perhaps they should let someone more organized handle the project before another embarrassing mistake happened. The room fell silent. A few nervous laughs echoed through the conference room. Emily lowered her eyes. For the first time, Ryan believed he had defeated her. Then she quietly looked at him. There was no anger. No resentment. Only exhaustion. She smiled gently and whispered 2 simple words. "You're hurting." Ryan froze. She gathered her papers, apologized for the mistake, and continued the meeting as though nothing had happened. But Ryan couldn't hear another word. Those 2 words echoed inside his mind over and over again. "You're hurting." How could she possibly know? That night Ryan couldn't sleep. He remembered growing up with a father who believed praise made children weak. Every achievement had been met with another expectation. Every mistake had become proof that he wasn't enough. He had spent his entire life chasing approval that never came. Somewhere along the journey, competition had become the only language he understood. For the first time, he realized he hadn't been fighting Emily. He had been fighting his own fears. The next morning Emily didn't come to work. Nor the next day. Rumors spread throughout the office. Some believed she had quit after the humiliation. Others thought she was interviewing elsewhere. Ryan unexpectedly felt guilty. 3 days later he learned the truth. Emily's younger brother had been admitted to the hospital again after another round of complications from a lifelong illness. Every evening after work she had been rushing there. Every early morning she returned before sunrise because she refused to let her personal struggles affect the team. Nobody had known. She never wanted sympathy. Ryan sat alone in the empty conference room, staring at the chair where she usually worked. Every sarcastic comment he had ever made replayed inside his head. He remembered mocking her for leaving early. She had been going to the hospital. He remembered accusing her of lacking focus. She had been sleeping in hospital waiting rooms. He remembered embarrassing her during the presentation. She had carried that burden while worrying whether her little brother would survive another night. Ryan suddenly realized how little he knew about the people around him. The following evening he visited the hospital with no expectation that Emily would even want to see him. When she noticed him standing awkwardly outside the room, surprise crossed her face. Ryan struggled to find words. He had rehearsed dozens of apologies during the drive. None of them felt enough. He simply admitted he had been cruel because he was afraid of losing. Emily listened quietly. She didn't defend herself. She didn't remind him of every insult. She simply thanked him for coming. That kindness hurt more than any punishment could have. Over the next few weeks Ryan began changing in ways that even surprised himself. He stopped trying to prove he was the smartest person in every room. He started listening before speaking. He asked coworkers whether they needed help instead of competing for recognition. Some people thought he was pretending. Others believed it wouldn't last. Ryan understood why. Trust takes months to build and only moments to destroy. When Emily finally returned full-time, she noticed the difference immediately. Ryan no longer interrupted her. Instead, he encouraged her ideas during meetings and publicly acknowledged her contributions. The atmosphere inside the office slowly changed. Instead of working against each other, they became a genuine team. Their project improved dramatically because neither person wasted energy trying to outshine the other. Months later the company won the contract. During the celebration, management announced that the success belonged equally to Ryan and Emily. Rather than promoting only one person, they created 2 leadership positions, believing both had demonstrated exceptional growth in different ways. Everyone applauded. Ryan looked toward Emily. This time his smile carried no jealousy. Only gratitude. Years later, people often asked Ryan what had transformed him from one of the most competitive employees into one of the most respected leaders in the company. He never mentioned awards. He never talked about promotions. He simply remembered those 2 unforgettable words. "You're hurting." Those words had not exposed his weakness. They had rescued him from it. He eventually realized that everyone carries invisible battles. The coworker who seems distracted may be caring for a sick parent. The employee who arrives late may have spent the night comforting a frightened child. The quiet colleague everyone misunderstands may be surviving heartbreak that nobody else can see. Kindness costs almost nothing. Cruelty can cost someone everything. Ryan and Emily remained close friends for many years. Whenever new employees joined the company, they created a workplace where people were encouraged to support each other instead of competing at any cost. Productivity improved, but something far more important improved as well. People smiled more. They trusted one another. They felt safe asking for help. Ryan often wondered how different his life might have been if Emily had answered his cruelty with anger. Instead, she chose compassion. In doing so, she gave him something no promotion or paycheck ever could, the courage to become a better human being. Sometimes the strongest people are not the loudest. They are the ones carrying impossible burdens while still finding enough strength to show kindness to those who least deserve it. And sometimes, the shortest sentences leave the deepest scars, and the greatest healing. If this story has stayed with you until this final moment, remember that every person you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see. Choose patience before judgment, compassion before pride, and kindness before victory. The smallest act of understanding may become the reason someone believes in humanity again. Because in the end, Ryan didn't remember the projects, the deadlines, or the promotions. He remembered the woman he mocked. And the 2 words that taught him what it truly meant to be human.